Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1371, 1371, and I am Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, at the last place on Earth where it will be so hot today. So hot! The frickin' world will just melt away and evaporate, and we will be all as one in the mist.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's going to be really nasty today. I'm not looking forward to it.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But I'm going to put on some shorts later on and get through it. I'm going to be fine. You are going to be wherever you are, and that's orange grind. That's grind, mine on the ground. Oranges are delicious and full of vitamin C. I have lemons.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They also full of citrus stuff. And I am using them on chicken.
Mike's
I sprinkle
Daily
a cut
Podcast.
lemon on the chicken.
Yeah!
And let it marinate for a little bit. And then put it on the grill for a little bit. Cooking it so you don't die and get the salmonella. And you eat the chicken, and it is so delicious. What I did also last night, as I said on Facebook, I was going to be barbecuing late into the evening because the sun would be up till, 9:30? Because it was the longest day of the year. I dispute... Oh, look who just walked in. I forgot to mention there are going to be people walking in during my podcast as to interrupt me. Hi, Mom! It's Benita the Rodeo Queen! Hi! How you doing?
It's a Disgruntled, I tell you what.
What?
I hate eating chicken. I'd rather have a delicious steak.
Look who else walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. I'm the Brewmaster. Oh, boy, I'm so delicious. I eat beer.
Mm-hmm.
I want a steak.
He didn't want to hear that. The point being, I got no sleep again last night. It's like I can count on one hand how much sleep I got. Listen, it's tough. It's rough in California with the heat. It got hot last night. The hot Thursday that we've all been talking about here in the Bay Area started last evening. It was so hot.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's a picture of you, Brewmaster.
What? I'm in the podcast picture. Oh, boy.
He's all excited.
Mark, that's cool that you put the Brewmaster in there.
Thank you, Benita.
Mark, I can't wait to go to the fair.
Ah, yes, the fair is here. Alameda County Fair. I got free tickets, and I'm giving them away on my podcast right now. Call in now to win. 336-MM Daily. No, don't call me. I'm not giving them to you. They just gave me 4. I'm taking 1. I'm giving 3 to my friends, Robert and Christy. And I'm going over to their house today to cool off and have a beer.
Mark, are you going to have delicious Irish beer?
This is just getting silly. Pour me the damn root beer.
Sorry. Oh, boy.
Thank you. You know what I wanted to tell you is I help produce a show that's on in the morning in the San Francisco Bay Area, where Nancy Pelosi hails from. Hey, Georgia, heard all about the bashing you did of San Francisco and Nancy Pelosi in your campaign ads against Ossoff. You know what? Back that bleep up, you idiots in Georgia. You're all, San Francisco's trying to take over Georgia. Yeah, so what if San Francisco did? You idiots. Bashing San Francisco. Cut it out. Only I get to bash San Francisco. It smells like pee. It smells like pee. Everywhere you go. You try and get on any public transportation, and you will sit in a puddle of pee. If you try to drive into San Francisco, you won't, because your car will not move anywhere inside of the city. You'll get to the city, and no, you won't even get to the city. You'll get to the bridge that goes over to the city, and then it's just traffic and car horns, and it's just crap. So I will bash San Francisco, and you will not. When I first moved to the Bay Area 9 years ago almost, I said to my then wife, hey, I wouldn't mind living in San Francisco. And she said, really? I would love it. And I said, I'd love it too. And, in fact, when she and I first started dating, one of the things we used to talk about all the time was San Francisco. And, it'd be so nice to move there. It's such a pipe dream for so many young people. And then you get there, and you smell the pee, and you see the prices, and you see how you can't move, and how any store you try and buy anything, it's expensive. The restaurants are expensive. The guy I'm going to see tonight, Robert, a couple years ago, he found out online, Craigslist, that there was a keyboard for sale, electronic piano for sale. And he said, Mike, do you want to go to San Francisco and help me pick it up? And I said, sure. So we get there. First off, we parked in this parking lot, cost $20. Anywhere you park is at least $20 for like a minute. That's how much it costs. And we park. And we should have just taken BART, because we ended up going to parking in Union City, where there's a BART station right there. We could have taken BART there. And Podcastro Valley has a BART station. So we walk a long way, because we misjudged. We shouldn't have parked in Union Square. We should have parked elsewhere, closer to where we were supposed to be. And we walk into this old building, and it stinks of pee. Did I mention that? I think we've gotten the idea of what it smells like. So you go up all these floors, and the carpet looks disgusting. Who knows? The walls are icky. And we knock on the door, and there's this young lady who looks so tired, so full of despair, just sad. And she's like, yeah, I gotta sell my keyboard because I'm running out of money. It costs so much money, and I can't. And she's got no kitchen in this room. And she says, I gotta. It's so expensive to eat out here. Anywhere you eat is expensive. And it's true. Anywhere you go to eat, well, anywhere really in the Bay Area now, but San Francisco for sure. And Robert didn't want to buy the keyboard. It was not what he wanted. So we left and walked to Japantown. It had some delicious soup of some kind. Was it pho? I don't know. Just pho off. Hey, you know what she did? I don't know what happened to her, but I do know Robert. After that, we were discussing it, and he goes, I would not want to live in San Francisco if that's the case. If that's what it's like here. And I said, me neither. But it's a pipe dream. That girl, a year ago, was probably all, ooh, I'm moving to San Francisco, everybody. Typing on Facebook, hey, I'm moving to San Francisco. Posting on Instagram, here's me. I'm crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going to San Francisco. Woo! So happy. And then you're there for, I'm probably not even a year, probably like a week. And you're like, this is crap. This stinks. This is all. And so, the end of my story, hence. Oh, don't bash Pelosi, though. I'm sick of it. She has just become demonized. She has, this happens over and over again. I'm old enough to know that during the Bush years, W. Bush, they demonized Pelosi. And I'll never forget, I know this girl from high school named Ellen, and her father passed away a few years ago, but I got to meet him. He was Irish. And I remember him just total staunch Republican, total conservative, hated Democrats, hated liberals, and said, oh, Nancy Pelosi, we should put her on a bus in Ireland and blow her up. I'm like, wow. Okay. Why? What is it? And I believe some of it is sexist. There's a sexism in the Republican Party. And this is a strong woman, and she... You know what, though? Did you see after the shooting, Scalise, when that happened that morning, and the House of Representatives were having their, Paul Ryan said a moving speech. Then Nancy Pelosi got up there and gave a wonderful speech and said, hey, look, we disagree. We get passionate about how we disagree, but this is not right. This is, in the end, we're all trying to move this country forward, and we shouldn't, allow, this is not how it should be when we're targeting each other and death is involved and killing, and this is ridiculous. It was an excellent speech. Very nonpartisan. So what we have here, though, is Georgia bashing the wonderful San Francisco. And I can't, for the life of me, figure out if it was the summer solstice yesterday or Tuesday. It doesn't matter. That's in the past. Now the days get shorter. And if they're going to be as hot as it's going to be today, that's fine with me. Our little segment today is a segment called What the Hell Is This Place Anyway? And we'll be looking at some interesting news stories for you. Oh, and yeah. There's two stories involving older actresses that are, one of them dating a 21-year-old, and I just love that. And it's all Meg Ryan, Ashton Kutcher-esque. Is it Meg Ryan? I always get that girl, not Meg Tilly. I always get those all. Meg Ryan, Meg Tilly, and I'll figure it out. You know what? If you'd like to help out the show, there's the Mike's Daily Podcast website. If you go to it and Demi Moore. How do I even get it's the M thing. Demi Moore. All right. So if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through the link at mikesdailypodcast.com, and it helps us out. And as you can tell, I need all the help I can get. What? 2 jurors held out? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, we got another interesting story we've just added to the What the Hell Is This Place Anyway thing. We'll get to that in just a moment. And don't forget, today is Oscar Fischenberger's birthday. Born in Geinhausen, Germany. He was a German-American abstract animator, filmmaker, and painter, notable for creating abstract musical animation many decades before the appearance of computer graphics and music videos. And they got some of his really cool old movies up there. He passed away in 1967. But you can actually interact with the Google Doodle today and make your own song. There's like a little interactive game, and you can make music using it. So play with that today in honor of Oscar. That's Oscar with a K. Fischinger. Well. Oh, and Ro Khanna was on C-SPAN this morning. He's our local representative, and he's a Silicon Valley representative, and he really is all about, he's like the main politician. When you think of tech and Silicon Valley, that's the guy. And Ro Khanna is his name, and he looks like he's 4. He's so young looking. I don't know, this kid, he's like 20 or something. He's so young. Finally, the segment called
I can't believe, what the hell is this place anyway?
Brewmaster.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
So, 2 holdout jurors kept Bill Cosby from being convicted guilty of sexual assault. This was found out by ABC News yesterday. The juror, who agreed to speak to ABC News on a condition of anonymity, where they put them in silhouette,
and make their voice sound like this,
said 10 of the 12 jurors agreed that Cosby was guilty on 2 of the 3 counts. On count 1, that Cosby had digitally Andrea Constand without her consent. The jury voted 10-2 to find Cosby guilty. On the 3rd count, that the alleged assault happened after Cosby gave Constand drugs without her knowledge, the jury also deadlocked at 10-2 in favor of the guilty verdict. Meanwhile, on the 2nd count, that Constand was unconscious or unaware during the incident, the vote was 11-1 to acquit Cosby. Interesting. On the counts 1 and 3, the 2 holdouts were not moving no matter what the jurors said. The jury initially voted in a non-binding poll to find Cosby not guilty on all 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault. As for whether any of the accusations against Cosby, made by dozens of other women, ever factored in, the jurors said, never, not once. If somebody would mention something, we would cut them off. Wow. Sounds like it was a very... it was close and contentious. I don't know how to describe it. I just read the story for the first time, and I can't form an opinion. That's how good I am at this job. But I do know that North Korea today called Donald Trump a psychopath. Oh, what a shock. As tensions following the death of American student Otto Warmbacher, who was evacuated to in a coma from North Korean detention last week. Pyongyang's official Rodong Sinmun newspaper said the U.S. president was in a tough situation at home and claimed he was toying with the idea of a preemptive strike on North Korea to divert attention from a domestic political crisis. South Korea must realize that following psychopath Trump will only lead to disaster, said the paper. A series of atomic tests and missile launches since last year have ratcheted up tensions on the Korean peninsula, and Warmbacher's death has further strained relations between us and them. On to something... Well, that's just... Tell me something I didn't know, Mike. Okay, how about this? Surrounded by several fellow Democrats in a meeting room in the Capitol Visitor Center, Ron Wyden, the senator from Oregon, lashed out yesterday afternoon at Republican plans to refashion federal health policies, contending that they would hit rural communities like a wrecking ball. And then he began to sing the song by Miley Cyrus. But the plans... No, he didn't. But the plans that Wyden was condemning at an all-Democratic hearing were not part of a Senate bill. In a weird twist, his derision was aimed at the legislation that House Republicans narrowly adopted last month to erase major aspects of the Affordable Care Act. It was an unusual target, given that Wyden is the Senate Finance Committee's ranking Democrat, but it reflected the conundrum that the Democratic senators and their allies have faced for weeks as they have tried to begin mobilizing to oppose sweeping health care legislation. With the bill still officially secret as of this moment, perhaps only a week before a possible Senate vote, they have been forced to fight against a phantom. It's like trying to shoot at something in the dark, said a lobbyist. Well, I will have to say that's true, or maybe not. That I've run out of my ability to segue into other stories. Here we go into the next story. Hurricane. Is it a hurricane? No. It's a tropical storm. The Gulf Coast states. In fact, I was speaking to my lovely mother yesterday, still discussing about me going to visit her in Florida. And we were discussing the Gulf Coast states because we met when I lived in Alabama. I drove down to see her. She came over from Daytona Beach, and we met in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and spent a couple days. It was a fun little trip. And it was right in the midst of me. I had a job in Alabama as a program director for a country station called The Wolf. And I needed a couple days off from it because it was just crazy every day. For one thing, I couldn't understand anyone. Those southern accents were just crazy hard to comprehend.
Mark, that sounds like you had a tough time.
What? I didn't understand what you just said.
Ha! That's funny. I gotta go. Bye. Hope we get to the point.
Of the story? Yes, I will, Benita. Here I go. The fact is that the Gulf Shores is getting hit by this tropical storm, Cindy. Southwestern Louisiana is already blamed for one death in Alabama. Cindy was expected to keep churning seas and spin off bands of severe weather from eastern Texas to northwestern Florida. It had decreased, though, its maximum sustained winds to around 40 miles per hour this morning, with additional weakening expected. Now on to the ladies, the celebrity ladies that are around my age. And that would be the lovely Mary Louise Parker, who has one of the most interesting smiles in the movie television world. She was on Weeds. She is 52, and her nanny, Amanda Hostin St. Louis, is her name? From Brooklyn. She's 33, and she used Mary Louise Parker's debit card and PIN number to go shopping for her children. But she took money, and the cops caught wise to the thefts after Parker's bank notified her about a recent withdrawal. So she and her nanny are not so good. And then and Mary Louise Parker has become a syrup farmer. Finally, another lovely lady in the world of acting, who is close to my age, is dating a 21-year-old. 43-year-old actress Kate Beckinsale. And this is awesome because she starred in that movie with Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler in his movies always has younger women, way younger than him, playing his wife or girlfriend or whatever. So, hey, turnabout fair play. And Mary Louise Parker Kate Beckinsale is dating actor-comedian Matt Rife. Good for her. And finally, as we go outside of Café Anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Our wonderful show, full of disputes today and interesting bits of what the hell is this place anyway. Tumblr. And I've been on Tumblr for 8 years. Tumblr was on the front lines of the battle for net neutrality. It stood alongside Amazon, Kickstarter, Etsy, and more during the battle for the net's day of action. Netflix also was part of the people fighting. Tumblr CEO David Cart was also part of a group of New York tech CEOs that met with then FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler in Brooklyn that summer while the FCC was fielding public comment on a new Title II rule. President Obama invited Karp to the White House to discuss various issues around public education, and in February of 2015, the Wall Street Journal reported that it was the influence of Karp and a small group of liberal tech CEOs that swayed Obama toward a philosophy of internet as public utility. But 3 years later, as the battle for net neutrality heats up once again, Tumblr has been uncharacteristically silent. The last mention of net neutrality on Tumblr's staff blog, which frequently posts about political issues, from civil rights to climate change to gun control to student loan debt. Last time there was a mention of net neutrality was over a year ago, or actually was a year ago to the date almost, and Tumblr is not listed as participating in the battle for the net's next day of action coming up in 3 weeks. Outreach for the day of action is very much an active and ongoing process, said a representative for Battle for the Net. And this representative also said, I wouldn't read too much into who is and who isn't on the list so far. Okay, so maybe Tumblr will jump on. But what's going on? The reason why it's brought up is the... What is it? That Verizon, since they have bought Tumblr, they're probably not going to let Tumblr talk about it, because Verizon completed its acquisition of Tumblr parent company Yahoo, kicking off the subsequent merger of Yahoo and AOL to create a new company called Oath. As one of the world's largest ISPs, Verizon is notorious for challenging the principles of net neutrality. It sued the FCC in an effort to overturn net neutrality rules in 2011. And they... Yeah, as we end the show. Next show, it is going to be... maybe I'll have more sleep. Maybe the sun... I just have to come up with a new rule, and that is I have to go to bed while the sun's still up. And I don't like that rule, but we'll play with it. We'll have the wonderful... Who is that person? Madam Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley will stop by. Woohoo!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!